Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another figure review. We got Alpine here. So, if you watched my review on oh god, what's it called, the Iron Grenadier, then you'll know that this guy was coming up. But yeah, this wave overall, I was mostly looking forward to almost all of them except the oh god, what's it called? The Iron Grenadier Bat. And I think I have most of the wave by now. What was it? Storm Shadow, Alpine, Iron Grenadier, and the Bat. Was it only four, or am I missing one? I'm not too sure. I'll have to check that. No, it turns out I'm right. It's just four figures, so I got the 30 that I wanted. Pretty happy there. I keep thinking they're doing 5 figure waves for some reason. I'm not too sure why, but um, Alpine here, I think, was the character a lot of people were asking for. But we have a side here, we have a number, the Joe Star there at the top, classified logo, we have his name and whatnot, and the figure in the box. We have Alpine with a nice sort of orange-yellow backdrop, looking very cool. The number, G.I. Joe, digital render here on the back. He's, climbing a mountain. You see the rope. He's being attacked by trouble bubbles. A few zoom in shots of the figure. And yeah, with that being said, let's open him up. But let's also bring in our vintage counterpart. Alright, so I got all the accessories out, but real quick, just funny thing about this figure. The cashier asked me if I was a, I guess, pro member of GameStop, that sort of subscription or membership that you get. I said no. He said okay, and then he charged it to me, but I think he still charged it to me the pro member price. So I got like a $1 discount out of this. Not that big of a deal, but I just thought that was a bit funny. But yeah, we have accessories. Quite a few to look at here. We do have some reuse though. We have this same sort of assault rifle or shotgun that we saw way back with the Alley Vipers. So yeah, just some green tones here and there. Looks cool. It is still very sort of flimsy there, especially on the back here. But it's pretty straight on mine, so it's good to see. We have this sort of harpoon gun or sort of grappling gun, which you can port this tip here at the front. And yeah, you can see it's painted in orange. And yeah, we saw this with the Alley Viper as well. Also kind of flimsy still. So I don't know. I don't know how they determine when to use the harder plastic for the accessories. I'm not too sure. But with that being said, we do have two new accessories. These sort of ice picks here. And these do feel sturdy. They're a little pliable, to be expected. But overall, they're sturdy. They don't feel like they're gonna bend over time, which again, I don't know what determines of using softer plastic to this sort of harder plastic, but we want to see more of this. But yeah, you can see, I bent it pretty well. Yeah, pretty solid. Happy with that. We have this hook here with the sort of rope wrapped all the way around. I'm not sure how this is being held here, and I don't think I want to move that. It's nicely tied on there, so I won't mess with that. And then we have his removable hat here with some nice silver there on the front, a nice little emblem, and then the black and green, so looks very cool. And yeah, let's look at the figure. Also, just a closer look at these ice picks here, because they are new. This one has like wrapping going around, the green wrapping, but you can see the spike there colored in silver, and the handles in orange. They look very cool, nicely sculpted. Now let's move on to the figure. So just having first-hand impressions on him, articulation-wise, He's a bit tricky, he's a tricky one, and we'll get into it, but there is a lot of detail going on with this guy. And where do we even start? Because we have this new sort of rigging going on. We have a nice little pouch here, looks very cool. But yeah, we'll just go through some of the detail on this guy. We have some black here on the back and some different tones of green going throughout the jacket, more black and sort of padding. And then we have new forearms. I don't think we've seen this before with the brown there and the padding. So it looks very cool. These legs are, I believe, from the Televiper and Lieutenant Falcon sculpt. I remember these legs. They kind of missed the mark here on mine. You can see the brown bleeding where they missed the green to cover the entire pouch. But yeah, that looks a bit sloppy, not gonna lie. Doesn't look too good. And then we do have new boots down here, which look cool, sculpted very cool, very mountain inspired boots. Again, this whole rigging and the pouch back here sculpted nicely, and these sort of hooks here on his hip. We do have his rope piece that is removable in case you want to remove it, which we might do so we can look at his shirt, which says Idaho. Honestly, a nice little shirt design there. And then the face sculpt here, I don't know how to feel about it. I mean, mine has a bunch of like scuffs on it. I don't know if I can remove that, but I think he looks okay. It's just the eyes to me seem a little off. I don't know how to describe it. It just, I don't know, something with the eyes. Because one of them is like slightly closed than the other. So I don't know if that's just a thing with mine. But overall, I think he looks okay. Can't complain too much. And then you have the hat, which just sort of completes his look. So yeah, he looks cool. That being said, articulation-wise, he is a bit tricky. And the reason why, mine has excess plastic down here by the legs. You can see a little strand of plastic there. And the arms, the forearms, because these are new, I assume maybe that's why they were a bit tricky. I mean, once you get it to fold in, it's pretty much good to go. But yeah, from this joint here, it's very tight, very solid. So I recommend heating it up before you try moving it. I just did it because I mean, I don't know, because I'm an idiot and I don't like to heat things up beforehand. But yeah, it was the same for both sides, and it's a little scary if you do it without heating it up, but it can be done. And it is kind of cold in this room right now, so I'm surprised it even worked. But yeah, same with the legs. Like I said, it's mostly these top joints that have excess plastic. You can see how it just rubs into that top plastic, and yeah, that little strand of plastic is because of that. And on this side, the same thing happened, but I think it's on the bottom one. You can see a little piece of plastic there that is sort of rubbing off. So yeah, there's going to be some rubbing. There's some joints are going to be tight, so just be aware of that, especially with the legs. This sort of knee thing is going to rub into the plastic of the sculpt back here, so just be wary about that. Arms also cannot go out too much or go up too much, and I'm not too sure why. Maybe it's a sculpt of this sort of padding that's not letting it go up too much. This side, just about that much, and then on this side, just about that much. So that's a bit unfortunate. You can't raise his arms higher than that. And then you do have, your head movement. You can look up just a little bit, down not so much, and then you have some pivoting in there. You do have your bicep swivels. Like I mentioned, beware of the elbows here, but you do have that range. Again, same thing with the Iron Grenadier. There's no room for the hinge to move in the socket here at all. This is supposed to be a vertical up and down hinge, but it's not moving. This side is a horizontal, and this one can move a little bit more freely. But even then, it's very limited. I don't know why the hands are so limited with classified. It's a common issue I've seen, at least with a lot of figures. But crunch about that much, and back not so much. And then yeah, you do have your waist swivel there. You can kick it forward about that much. The rigs kind of get out of the way. That's nice to see. You can kick out. Upper thigh swivel, and then you do have your double jointed knees there. And yeah, again, just be wary of those knees and how tight they are. Boot swivel, and then the feet go back about that much forward, and then you do have ankle pivot in there. Very nice. So yeah, I mean, we have my vintage one here, and he's a little dusty here at the top because he has been standing there for the longest time, but a lot of the design stayed the same, and we'll go further into that in a separate video comparing the vintage to the classified. But there's just some tones, like the hat is brown on this one rather than green. A few differences here and there. I think the one thing a lot of people wanted with this classified was a back piece. You know, we got it with vintage, and they did not provide that with this one. There's also literally almost no storage for any of his accessories. I don't know where you'd put any of this. I mean, the hook, you can probably just like have it there. You can have them hold these, or maybe also put these, hook these onto the straps here. I guess that could work to some extent, sort of putting them like that, because there is like a little gap there, which I assume maybe there. I mean, you can probably use those straps to your advantage, but yeah, for this or this, you won't have any storage, so pick your gun and display them with what you want. I'll probably do the ice picks. I don't know, it just, they look cool, so I'm gonna have them dual wield the ice picks and see how that looks. It reminds me very much of that Call of Duty mission. If any of you have ever played Call of Duty, there's a snow mission, and yeah, you're basically jumping around cliffs with your two ice picks until things go bad, as usual, you know, as Call of Duty tends to do. But I mean, overall, it's a nice figure. I think I'd say around, I'd rate it about a 3 out of 5, just like the Iron Grenadier. Again, some of the joints are way too tight, and you know, the whole plastic, excessive plastic here at the legs is getting a little annoying with this with these leg molds, which is very disappointing to see they haven't fixed that. No storage for some of the guns, or most of your guns or equipment, is a bit of a bummer, so that's going to bring down this sort of rating a bit for me. But overall, I think he functions okay. Yeah, some of the articulation is a little limited, like the arms, like I mentioned before. But I think he looks fantastic. I mean, I'm not gonna do anything too crazy with him. So I'm overall pretty happy with how he turned out. And we also give Bazooka his friend, and I believe Quick Kick is also one of their friends, one of their good friends. So very cool to see these two side to side. I know a lot of people are taking pictures with them together, so I might do the same. But that does it for Alpine, for my review. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Leave a like, subscribe, and all that stuff. I mean, you don't have to, unless you want to hear my voice again, as sick as it is. But that does it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in a future video.